Welcome to One of Those, the show that explores the art of sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. Thank you so kindly for being here. Got a really cool episode as always for you guys. I'm joined by the brothers from the 8 More Than 92 podcast, Harrison and Josh, my dudes. These are my boys, man. I'm so happy to have them on. We're going to talk Jordan brand today, man. Has the brand gone stale? Do they need a hard reset? Or are we overreacting and have we become a little spoiled as sneakerheads? We're going to talk about this and so much more. Not going to waste any time. Let's jump right to it. Without further ado, my boys from the 8 More Than 92 podcast. Good, my brother.
How you doing, man?
I am great, bro. I'm great. We were just talking off mic, man. It's been a busy weekend. We got, projects at the project coming, man. You guys are doing amazing things. The 8 More Than 92 show is thriving and being luxurious, doing this thing,
Appreciate that.
Just for the folks that haven't had an opportunity to check out the podcast or may be new to it, man, kind of tell them about what you guys do and all the dopeness that goes on your end.
Well, I am Harrison, one of the hosts of the 8 More Than 92 podcast, where our motto is we always keep it 100. Our show, we laugh a lot, so it get labeled as a comedy, but our show basically, I say it's an episode for everybody, and one of the 95 that we put out, we talk about sports, we talk about relationships, we talk about jokes, we talk about stuff that goes on in current events. So It's just basically like a good space for people to come and decompress, shoot the shit, and hear some people talking about something. Hopefully it's similar to what's going on in your life or of interest of yours, whether it be one of the many stuff we talk about. So basically that in a nutshell.
Listen, one of the first times I met this brother, I was on his show talking about mental health, you know what I mean? But naturally we got to talking about sneakers because that's just what happens, right? And I ain't never seen a man without every sneaker. Like he pulled out every sneaker that we were naming. It was he brushed his beard with a sneaker. I think it was what was that? Raging Bull.
Raging Bull.
Yeah. Okay, so this dude knows what he's talking about. He's here for a reason, and we just gonna go through a couple of sneaker topics, man. Because I just like to talk to my friends about sneakers, man. That's just what we like to do on this show. And one of the first things I wanted to bring up to you when I was at Sneaker Fest the other day, and I was with my homie Paul, and we were really tripping off of. We're at the Washington Wizards Stadium. This is sponsored by the Wizards, right? This isn't like, I don't even want to like compare it to another sneaker event because those sneaker events are huge and I don't want to make the mistake of downplaying one to pump up another. But these people aren't sneakerheads, right? The people in Monumental Sports and all them aren't sneakerheads, but they recognize that sneaker culture is something that they need to implement for an entire week at the Wizards, stadium during games, right? What do you think about like the growth of sneaker culture and where we are now?
Well, the answer, I'll call them sneaker profiters. But I was talking to my homeboy about this yesterday. I think sneaker culture is a little bit too much right now, just because like you look at Dunks release with a new dunk like every other day. Air Jordan 1s release like every other day. And I feel like it's just overly saturated to where the conversation me and my homeboy were having was that if you want to start a hustle, don't go to crypto, don't start your own weed, go to sneakers, because at any point you could just get a high sneaker and just sell it. And I feel like, to me, I can't sell any of my shoes. That's how much it means to me. I'm a collector. Like I had to do the actual history. And so I know one homegirl, she just sells sneakers to do it. She collects them to sell them. And I feel like selling sneakers is a part of being a sneakerhead, but the history, like I got a pair of those free running Air Max 90s that I got, and I ain't wore a pair of 90s since 08, so it's just the history of when I can track it back. And I don't think people put enough story into what this sneaker means, right. My first pair of Jordans were the Bread 13s. So 13 is always favorite. Now Flint is my favorite out of the two, but the breads will always be it. And it's a story to each one. And it's even if I go to up tempos, you know what I'm saying? Like any type of shoes, Air Maxes, foam posits. Foam posits were supposed to be molding to your feet, and I couldn't afford them. When I finally got a pair of foam posits, I got a bunch of foam posits. So it's a history to it. And I feel like if you were to just ask a lot of people nowadays, it's just trendy.
You know, that's an interesting point, right? One of the topics I had down on my list is, has Jordan brand gone stale, right? And I love Jordan. Because it's like when I ask that question, it's not saying that we don't like Jordans anymore. Like, obviously, we're going to still wear Jordans. And when people think about sneaker culture and sneaker heads, they think about Jordans. Let's just keep it a buck, right? Like, most of the people at the event last night and throughout the week had on Jordans, right?
Yeah.
Has the brand gone stale? Is a two-part question. Has the brand gone stale? And if it has gone stale, is it because of what you're talking about? People gobbling up the product just to sell it at a higher market price?
I think the brand has gone stale from the simple fact that he's only putting out the same shoe in a different variations of forms. Like it's a million ones, and it's almost to the point that like the Carmines came out in 2014.
Right.
Again, you know, of course they've been out before, but they just came out again, and the 13s just came out. Yeah. So it went from like, I'm so upset that I couldn't get the shoe to now I just wait for it. And he's not even like the Cardinal 3s that just came out and the UNC. I like that you experiment with different stuff, but you releasing 1s, 3s, 4s, 6s, and 7s all the time. I hate the 10s, but no 10s. The 9s are coming out, and it's just like you got the 21s that are like one of my favorite that you don't get. So I feel like it's saturated down because he's not really making anything exclusive anymore. You got 23 of your first 23 and you're only releasing 6 of them at a time. It's just kind of like you're in a money grab and everybody wants to get a pair of 1s, and I hate 1s. So so it's just like, but that's all I see. Like I follow Soul's site and another sneaker site on Twitter. So I get a 1s release all the time, you know? And then you got things like Foam Posits, which Foam Posit realized that Foam Posit was putting out too many and they stopped. Yeah. And Foam Posits sell out just as quick as Jordans. And it's the same with like, you know, LeBron's or anything. It's just like, you gotta, like he's bringing his shoe back that he hasn't released in a long time. And I feel that that is something that Jordan needs to do or give some more time in between, you know?
So Josh just joined us, man. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, big Bob?
Cool, man. So we just been in here talking about sneakers, man. And like her said, like we talking about those lesser known brands and lesser known, like, you know, the idea that Jordan may have gone stale. Jordan brand may have gone stale. Just give me your general thoughts on that. Like, do you think the brand is starting to go stale? And if so, is it on the brand or is it on the people?
I wouldn't say it's going stale because I feel like regardless, like even now to back in the day or to when we was younger, everybody liked their certain numbers, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like Nike and the corporations, they've been pushing, like, especially let's say like 1s, they've been pushing more 1s. You get more, because I remember when we was younger, Jordans only released on Saturdays. You didn't have no released on Wednesday or Monday or all these different releases they have now. Like if you had a big name brand Jordan or a big like retro Jordan, it was only on Saturdays. So now they're pushing these 1s, but if you think about it, it's smart. The 1s, the cheapest ones to make, you know, they normally cost like maybe $120 or something like that, and they can push them out, and then they reselling like crazy because 1s are still reselling at like $300, just like the 11s, 12s, or the 13s, and they're cheaper to make. So, but I feel like regardless, 11's gonna always sell because everybody, even people that don't know nothing about Jordan, or you know, males, females, little kids, they like 11s. They know Space Jam, you know. And you got 13s and 12s, they're going to sell. You know, you might have some people that like the 4s, you know, that's a big name. But when you come to like 15 or 20s or, you know, 17s or something like that, people not even gonna know what them look like. So that's just in general, you know, like because Jordan really didn't wear the 15s that much, or you know, the 20s that much. So I feel like 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, that's your, you know what I'm saying, that's what people gonna know. And then 12s, 13s, and you know, 11s. That's really it right there.
That's such a good point, that it's about moments with that's the thing we like about this, right? Moments, especially for us. If you're older than, you know, like 20 years old, you go, hey, I remember the 13s because this happened when he was wearing the 13s. Even like other, you know, silhouettes and brands. I remember the gloves, I remember the Pippins, I remember this because of this, right? Or I had them back then, and this, that, and another. The phones, you know, the phones we mentioned earlier. Oh, I wore them, blah, 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 right? Is it that it's difficult to create those stories with newer stuff, right? Like you said, Mike didn't wear certain numbers, but the numbers continue to come out. Is that just like a unsolvable problem, right? Like if you make a 33 or 34 and you try to let Westbrook wear for a few minutes or whoever, right, it's not going to feel the same. So the sneaker doesn't sell. So essentially we're stuck within this little like twilight zone of wearing 1s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. Or appreciating those numbers. Like, how do you get the attention on the different silhouettes of Jordan brand? How do you do it?
I think that you got to think that it's Jordan we talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be hard to get a 33 or get something like that, because like kids nowadays, like if you talk to your kid and he under the age of, you know, 13 or 15, he even though he could walk past Jordan and not know who that is, you know, he just ran, but they didn't watch the dunk contest like us. They didn't watch the flu games, you know. They didn't, and even if we weren't alive at that time in the 90s, like we still seen it, you know what I'm saying? Like our people still went back and say, oh, you got to watch Dominique and Jordan go at the dunk contest, you know, you got to watch this. So that was still kind of our era. So you still got, now you got the LeBrons, you got the KDs, you got stuff like that. So that's what the kids see them every day. They might see Jordan in the stands, but they don't see him wearing the shoe. Like you said, like they don't have like he buzzer beater, he hit, the 14s come out. You know what I'm saying? Boom. We don't see that. Like they don't even know what the relevance of that is. So I think that it's kind of hard to kind of push those 33s unless you put like you said, a Westbrook put them on, or a Zion put them on, and he, you know, do some kind of dunk on somebody or something crazy, and people are like, oh my God, he had the shoe. But I don't think that they have those kind of shoe moments anyway now. You know, like for us, because you got to think, what do we hear when we was kids? It's the shoes. You know, is it the shoes? If we put the shoes on, I can play like Jordan. You don't hear stuff like that now with kids. They don't go like, oh, if I put these LeBrons on, they don't do that. Like that was.
They like that with LeBron. They like that with LeBron and Kyrie. But I agree, they not like, people wear Kyries all the time to hoop. People wearing Jordans out in regular clothes, and I just don't think that. I think that Jordan, but I also don't think that Jordan has put a star on Jordan label at the height of his apex like he did Melo. Because no other shoe outside of the top 23 is sold besides the Melo. And I hear more people saying that like everybody know the Melos, but can't nobody name you a CP anything. Can't nobody name you a Tatum or Westbrook, a Wade. Well, you know, Wade was only on there for a little bit, but he was still doing the Jordan numbers. Can't nobody name you a Zion. Nobody cares about that. But Melo was the guy. And that was the last time you seen somebody on his label. Like Luka's okay, but Luka he ain't ascended yet, you know? And Melo came in number 4, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he actually put real effort into making a good shoe for Melo. CP, no.
And then it was a culture, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, once again, what you just said that still people were buying 2 pair. I remember when I was younger, people buy 2 pair. I got a pair that I can wear out, and I got a pair I can go hoop with. You know what I'm saying? So like you don't have like, ain't nobody talking about, like you said, unless you're talking about like CP or Melo or something like that. But still, people gotta really like that certain person. At that time, everybody liked Jordan. You know, you loved him or you hated him. You know, even if you were from Detroit, y'all might hate Jordan because they're bad boys, but they were still rocking J's in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So now you got people that's like Melo. Okay, where he playing at? What city he at? So people gonna mess with him in that city. But it is, you know, it's just different. Like I don't think the shoe game ain't like it was when we was younger. So I think that's the biggest part. Like they kind of trying to flood the shoe game out. It's about the money. They're trying to get that money.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that's and we'll just stick with this Jordan thing because I think it's sort of like it speaks to the sneaker culture as a whole, right? There's a little bit of conflict happening, right? On one hand, like Harrison, like you mentioned earlier, right? Like there's a lot of resellers and people. So it's a lot of young people that recognize that the Jordan is hot, especially for like a lot of older people, right? People like us that lived through the 90s and the 2000s and saw those moments and felt those moments, right? And so they know that if I get that Jordan 1 in my hand, I can resell it to somebody who's got the bread to do it, by the way. Some working man or woman who has $200-300 to go ahead drop on that Chicago actually going to cost way more than that, but you get my point, right? Then there's the side of it that's just maturing. And so we talk about the lack of innovation, the lack of creativity with some of these, some of these silhouettes, right? I think about the Stan Smith. I think about the Adidas Shell Toe. I think about the Converse. I think about sneakers that's been the same for 50 years. And it's just a sneaker. It's an adult sneaker that people wear. So part of it, I think, is that we're adults and there's no more room for newness in our minds. I'm not going to, Zion's not going to do anything that's going to make me want to go buy his sneaker. You know what I'm saying? Like Melo Ball's not going to do anything that's make me go, yo, you see John Morant, as much as I love him, is not going to do anything that's make me going to go, I want to wear John Morant sneaker because I love John Morant. I'm a 40-year-old man. And I'm old. Okay. I'm a 40-year-old man. So, but I do want just a Jordan 1 because it looks good. I can wear it with a suit, this, that, and another, right? So it's part of it that, again, sneaker culture is just maturing, and it just is what it is with certain things in Jordan brand that, like, yo, we're going to always want the 1, just like we always going to want a Converse All-Star, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just, I think it's like, it's music. You listen to music at a certain age, and then once you get probably, like, to me at least, like 28 or so, I didn't care about anybody new coming out. I had already had a good little deal in my mind of music that I was going to listen to, and nobody new was going to do anything that Wayne did or that Ludacris did or that Drake did or anything like 28 down. I've already made my mind up. So I feel like it's kind of the same with shoes. Like, okay, yeah, we are the ones who condition the sneaker, the love of sneaker, the exclusivity of it, of trying to going to a sneaker con and trading before StockX, before GOAT, before Kixify. All these sites were just making eBay before, like when it was really hard to get a sneaker and you would move hell and high miles, not just to get a Travis Scott exclusive and sell for $10,000. Right. I think that's what we're seeing. The people that came in for the love of it are trying to condition themselves with the people that are turned it to monetary, because they, at least at some point, we were in the era of the Jordans, the Penny Hardaways. We had some type of remnants where we could point to where we were at, and these people aren't. Oh, I'm sorry, this new generation, not these people, but the new generation isn't. So, they have to make their own lane, but they know how to work this technology, know how to flip some. They know Kyrie is a guy. They know Steph is a guy. And this is their way of joining in the shoes. And theirs is more monetary, because at this point, by the time we had already set it in, we already know how much a pair of Norman phone pods is going to go by. They only know the hustle of it. And I think their generation gets the hustle, not the love, because you can go get a shoe like that. Yeah. So you don't have to go 3-4 states and this and all that work that you had to put into it. They'll never have to go through, because it's the millennial generation, the internet generation. Yeah. So I just think we're at that impasse to where we're both we see them like, man, y'all, low people, y'all, what's this music y'all kids listening to? It's kind of like the shoes. Y'all kids don't appreciate the game.
It's a lot of get off my lawn going on here. You know what I mean? A lot of
exactly
hand at the cloud, like, hey, you don't appreciate this, you don't appreciate that, and it does cause conflict. Go ahead, John.
I was gonna say, I think another big thing about it is gonna be fashion too, because you got to think, like, we don't have those tinkers, you know what I'm saying? When Tinker came out with the 3s and the 4, like, that was a big deal. Like, so I think that, like, it's just, like I said, it's really just a corporation, like they coming out with more colorways, because you don't have it's not really like big in the fashion, because Jordan, like you said, we got all the way up to 23 and more, now, but you got to think in our era, they was just coming out with 13s, you know what I'm saying? 14s, like 13s just hit, bro. It's got a hologram on the side. It's got, you know what I'm saying? Allen Iverson came out with the shoes, like, bro, it's got his face at the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have those, I think, those real people that's in fashion come, you know, like, like, let me put something out, but it's real fashionable too. You know, it's kind of like, oh, well, we're going to give Steph a shoe, you know, Under Armour, here it go. You know, it's just a plain shoe, but it ain't really, like, if you didn't know it was Steph's shoe, you don't know it's Steph's shoe. But you, like you said, the gloves, that mug fit you like a glove. It's zipped up. It did, you know what I'm saying? You kind of knew the personality of the person, you know, the penny. You know, you had the Penny Hardaways. They had his little logo in there. So I don't know. I think that's another big thing too, because it's like they don't really care about that stuff now. You know what I'm saying? Like we big in, like we was talking about the other day when we was talking about somebody the other day was talking about like matching. Like we big on, like, I need to match. You know what I'm saying? If I got a red and black shirt on, my shoes gonna be red. My shoes gonna be white. You know what I'm saying? So I'm big on that, like matching. But like now they're not big on those things. So it's just kind of whatever, you know. So you got Travis Scott for some reason, anything he dropped shoe wise in the third, it sell like crazy. But you know, other than that, you don't really have too much, you know. Not, like I said, Nike gonna come out different Jordans. They're gonna come out the Black History Month, the Women's Appreciation. They'll come out Valentine's Day. They'll come out the Christmas drops. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that that's always gonna sell. But that's just different colorways of what we already know. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much long. I appreciate y'all taking the time. I do want to ask one last question though, because we'll share one more thought and just see what y'all think about it. Because as we're talking, my mind is racing and I'm thinking about, like, you know, you like Josh, you mentioned, the kids like the matches, that and other moments. We're bringing up a lot of stuff and that has to do with Jordan Brand in particular. And I'm just thinking about it as I'm listening to y'all. I'm also thinking about the average 21, 22-year-old and how they dress. And it's actually not a lot of sneakers. So it's not a lot of emphasis on sneakers. It's a lot of emphasis on fashion and other things. You know, you look at like even some of the young rappers, like they wearing like, you know, different kind of boots and this, that, and another. So, but, you know, you think about little kids, they wear sneakers, right? Like 12, 13-year-olds wear sneakers, but like, you know, that tween and young adult age is a little different. Do you think that sneaker culture has just become, again, adult culture? And that's where the mix up is, because for us, people in our age range, we really care about sneakers. We remember the Nike Talk days and all of this, you know, the waiting in lines, blah, blah, blah. For these youngins, sneakers is just, they can take it or leave it. It's a thing they could have, but they don't really need it. For us, it's something that we personally need. And maybe that's where, I hope this question makes sense. Maybe that's where the conflict is coming in, where it's like we're looking for new moments and new innovation. But if you're trying to make something for a 22-year-old, nothing's going to move them like it moved us when we were 22. Does that make sense?
I think it's money. I understand what you're saying, but I also think it's money too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really think about, like, even if you think about if you was a shoe head, or let's say you was the kid with all the shoes, like I was one of the kids, like in my high school, like I had all the shoes, but you know, those shoes were built up over time. You know what I'm saying? Like your mom might get you some shoes at the beginning of the school year, you know, and holidays, and then you'll rock them out for a while, you know. So now, you know, money-wise, shoe, but at the same time, Jordan wasn't dropping 4, 5, 6 shoes a month. You know what I'm saying? Like we was getting like one shoe that come out like every 2, 3 months. And you know, everybody in school got them, or the people that can get them got them. And then it's just like, okay, well, my outfit gonna look a little better, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna bring them out a little more, you know. But I feel like it's like I said, the shoe industry is fluttering. Like they throwing out a whole bunch of Yeezys, they throwing out a whole bunch of foams, they throwing out a whole bunch of ones. Like you got like over 100 different color ones. They just throwing them out to try to get somebody. They trying to get some kind of consumer. It ain't really about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give you, you know, like, hey, I give you this, hold off for a second, we're gonna come out with something hot. It's really just we flooding the system, you know what I'm saying, to see what hit.
Yeah. I can dig it.
I think it's more names now. Like, you know, we probably would be cool with, like, at the time, Coogee, or I don't want to go super back, but you go Rockaware, Nietzsche, or something like that. If you look at all the videos, it was Air Force Ones, it was Jordans, or something like that. The shoes set it off. Now the shoes that people want are Burberry, Gucci, Balenciagas. You know, if you look at the shade room, you look at somebody like the Baby, he's not rocking a pair of retro anything, almost to the point to or Yeezys, almost to the point to where if I do see somebody with shoes that are Jordans or Air Maxes and stuff like that, I'm surprised. Like, okay, he must really like sneakers. But everything is more branded because now Balenciaga and all of them are making shoes, and I feel like the outfits go towards the most expensive shoes, and Jordans and tennis shoes are never going to be that expensive unless you're getting a rare pair and you're getting it from a third party. So I feel like that's what they tailor more. If I look at anything, I see that like what they got on their feet is like a $900 pair of shoes, and ain't no way in my damn mind I'm gonna be getting a $900 pair of anything. I don't see it, because that shoe better make me save the planet. So I think that's what I see more when I see it's way more. And ain't like we ain't never did Gucci this or Gucci down, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not, but the fact that they're putting shoes in the outfit now, people are going out their way to be like, well, this Balenciaga or this Gucci, this Burberry, this, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what I see more of the sneaker world. Like even now that what is the brand that I see Kim Kardashian was wearing a pair of sneakers. It was like some bullshit too, and it was like $1,500, but that's what I see basically. Summing up, it's the brands are making sneakers now, and if you got that, they're the new Louis belt. We all want the Louis belt or Gucci belt. Now we all want the designer shoes, and I think that's what you see more from this style. There's no longer it's just as long as it's a sneaker or a tennis shoe. It don't have to be a basketball shoe, which essentially that's what sneakerheads are, basketball shoe wearers.
Yep. Perfect point to end it on, man. Gentlemen, thank you for taking the time out to do this, man. I really appreciate y'all. It's always dope having the folks from 8more92 on the show, man. Check them out. You guys are amazing. We're gonna do it again, right?
Yes, sir.
Of course, always. I'm gonna have something to brush. I'm gonna comb my hair.
I was
with,
waiting.
A pair of shoes.
I was
gonna do it, but I was like, I already did that. I was gonna do that. I don't know what the question. I see what the questions was gonna be first, but next time I'll have them out.
Yeah, do that, please. Come on, you can't deny the one of those audience the beard brushing moment. That's better than the Fat Joe moment, dog.
I know, man. The yesterday's price is not today's price, but no, I got you.
I only got 2 pairs of sneakers with me. I'm out of town, so
yeah.
I got the Gucci slides, and I got the Jordan.
See what I mean? What I'm saying? He could have just said slide. He had to let it Gucci.
I had to do it.
Perfect example.
When you pay the Gucci price, you gotta let people know. No, these are Gucci slides.
Hey, I hear that, bro. I hear that, man. Yo, I appreciate y'all, man. I'll talk to y'all soon. Yo, big shout outs to the crew from 8more92, man. Appreciate you guys coming on. It was always dope talking to you. Listen, I'm a fan of Jordan Brand. You know, we can always get innovation, but you know what? At the end of the day, I love Jordan 1s. I love Jordan 3s. I love Jordan 4s. What do you want me to say, man? I'm an old head. I'm stuck in my ways. Whatever. Anyway, I appreciate you all for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to follow me, MSR_Adam, MSR_Adam. Follow the team on My Feet Network and the Up on Game Network. Remember to mind your mental health. Remember to mind your physical health. And please, please, please continue to be great. I'm up out of here. Later.